Good afternoon everyone, Asakura is here with you, and today in Mobile Hero Wars we're going to take a look how the regular arena and tower will be changed in the near future. Please watch this video to the end to get the full picture of what is going on. Subscribe to my channel, here you will find a lot of unique information you didn't know about yet. I, as a YouTuber, was given access to beta test the new arena and tower variant. I will say that the final version of the new arena may be different from what you will see in this video, but I think that the system will be similar, so let's start analyzing the arena changes, and there are a lot of them. I've been playing the Mobile Hero Wars since 2017, and in fact, in all 7 years this mode has never been touched, only adding new character soul stones to the store. The first place award of 650 emeralds has always been and remains a coveted prize for every player, and it was especially valued at a time when the game had twice as few heroes, dozens of times fewer skins, no talismans, artifacts, elemental gifts, factions, and classes. Times are changing, and spending 650 emeralds now is much more inconspicuous than before. In the new arena the situation will change, including this very reward, but we will come back to them a little later. And so what do we see in the new arena? Now all characters are not represented as icons as before, but as dynamic models, as on the battlefield. Instead of 3 opponents to choose from, now one is shown. The replace button has been retained, which is great for when we get an awkward team to punch through. By clicking on the attack button we get to an updated window in which we can see the power of each hero in thousands, the talisman worn, and what class a character belongs to. There is also a separate button with an icon of talismans, clicking on which we can see the equipped talismans of our own and enemy heroes, which is very clear and convenient. Immediately there is a suggestion to the developers to implement a small button next to the icons of their heroes with the function of quick replacement of talismans if the player's hero has more than one of them. A little to the left we see another button that allows you to sort the heroes to be selected for the team by 3 criteria: by effect from the first artifact, by faction, and by class. It's more convenient if you know the characters by heart and who relates to what, rather than manually scrolling through the hero's ribbon at the bottom. There is another suggestion to add an expand button that would open a window with the usual full list of heroes, which were ranked by power as before. You can change the heroes in a team by clicking on them. In general, the visual part of the arena has become more alive and with a deeper immersion. Now we see not just pictures with heroes before the fight, but also how powerful our team looks, which can help in imagining how this or that fight can go. It would be great to prescribe different animations and their interaction with each other. For example, the animation of victory or attack with different intervals to make it look even more interesting. In the battles themselves nothing has changed. We fight in the usual 5-on-5 format with the same timer for 2 minutes, but on the updated field. Back to the main menu of new arena. Places in arena have been replaced by the number of points, the score of which depends on successful or unsuccessful attacks and defenses. Yes, now arena will no longer be restricted to your server exclusively, but will become cross-server. When we win we get points, and when we lose points. So on defense you need to field as tough a team as possible so that it's harder for opponents to hit you. In turn, the different number of points refers to different levels of leagues. There are 16 in total, starting with Iron 1 and ending with Ruben. Exceeding a certain number of points moves us to a higher league, stage by stage, similar to the Elo system. But at the same time, we could lose a higher league if our defense gets penetrated. The rewards for each league look like this, and despite the addition of promotion rewards and seasonal rewards, it all looks noticeably weaker than past rewards where we got more emeralds for top spots in the arena. I suggest that the developers pay attention to this and propose to increase the number of arena arena coins and emeralds in all awards in all leagues, and in seasonal awards to remove useless gold, add the same emeralds and any unique prizes. The first thing that comes to mind in terms of unique prizes are new exclusive skins for heroes that won't give characteristics but will change their appearance along the lines of Galahad's look, switching it to a vampire theme. Let's try to get 1,000 likes under this video so that it acts as an indicator to the developers that we want more interesting and fair rewards. I will announce an important point that the rewards of the renewed arena and the grand arena will be separate, which means that if you take, for example, first place in the grand arena and fight in the new arena in the Rubin League, you will be able to earn 650 plus 300 emeralds per day for a total of 950. Do we get more emeralds? Yes, but the question here is different. How many players are even capable of climbing to the top of Grand Arena? We will deal with this point a little later with constructive suggestions to make life easier for regular players. It's also important to note that in the new arena there is no longer a tie-in of receiving the reward to a time that used to occur your time zone. It is now given out after the day update. Thus, we take away the ability of some enthusiasts to punch the first place a second before receiving the reward, as well as the ability to help friends climb to the first place by weakening their team. Now it will be incredibly hard to meet friends or even guildmates in the arena. To the vague moment of changing the arena can be attributed opacity of receiving the number of points. For some, victory give more, and for some less. Personally, for me, it is still unclear what this depends on. Also, it is not quite clear how the new arena will affect newcomers or players whose level has not yet reached 120. In other words, I mean people who started playing recently. It looks as if the competition in this particular stratum will be frantic, and only an increase in the number of awards will justify the struggle. From League Platinum 1 and from Ruby, boxes of orange items will become available in the arena store. It will be glorious if the developers add other interesting resources to this store, but which ones? I suggest you write us all in the comments. Plus, I'd like to see a chip implemented that would allow some leagues to endow some leagues with unburnable on the condition of unsuccessful defenses in which points are reduced to lessen the spread of these swings within which you can lose a lot of points. By the way, it is important to mention that at the end of the season, the new one does not start from the last rank, but rolls back 2 ranks, which is generally acceptable. I also suggest making a separate Hall of Fame for seasons with statistics of wins and losses in offense and defense, as well as another Guild Hall of Fame, which will take into account a certain number of players from the same guild, which is possible higher overall rise in the leagues and in points. Separately, I think it's important to say a few words about Grand Arena. It is obvious that after Arena Rebalance, the relevance of Grand Arena will increase and more players will play it, so I think it is necessary to reduce the purchase price of the first 5 attempts from 150 to 50 emeralds. And I also propose to completely cancel the hiding of 1, 2, and 3 teams, starting from the 100th place in the experiment format, which will be aimed at more thoughtful play. Overall, with all the current changes, I like the fact that this mode is being changed. The main goal now is to give motivation to us, all players, to play it, which is solved by increasing the number and uniqueness of rewards. I will miss the old arena, and I hope that while beta testing is going on, my review will be helpful to players and developers alike. Now let's talk about the new tower. Immediately noticeable is the absence of stairs. Now our heroes stand on a steep circular platform and climb on the same. At first glance, the tower store hasn't changed in any way. Even after it was updated, nothing new. Opening the rules, we see that in general, the concept is to reach the top of the tower, namely to break through several teams of opponents. Only in the new tower we are deprived of the quick skip battle button. We will have to fight against all opponents. The same interface as in the new arena is implemented here. Animated heroes models, their stats and sorting are also consistent. You cannot retreat from the battle. There is a button to skip. Now it is analogous to Fast Pass, which from now on will slow down a lot. And in addition, if you attacked a strong team and lost a hero hero, you will not have the opportunity to get him back. Sometimes the power of teams varies, sometimes it's extremely low, sometimes it's comparable to yours, and one time I even got a team that is in a meta by itself and where every hero had at least 160,000 power. To say I was blown away is an understatement. Perhaps the balancing of the opposing teams here is matched with the overall power of the account. Some floors offer 2 rooms to choose from, and it's good to be able to pick weaker opponents in this case. And as we progress through the tower, we are offered a choice of new and unique enhancements for our heroes that will make it easier for us to get victories over our opponents. There are a lot of them, and all of them are quite useful. You may also notice that small chests now cost not 50 emeralds, but 80. The number of tower coins dropped has increased by 1.5 times. The number of fragments of purple items has remained the same. Perhaps more gold has been dropped. It's hard to notice the difference when you have billions of them on your account. Large chests have also gone up in price from 100 to 150 emeralds. Here everything is also 1.5 times more tower coins, but the number of orange fragments to me fell out always 5. In the old large tower chests fell out 8. The number in the new ones is noticeably lower. As a result, we can get 4 small chests and 3 large chests for free in the new tower for a total of 7. It is for this reason that we are already seeing some updates in the form of changes to the number of tower chests in Hero Path quests and other time events. After buying all the chests, we will spend 1540 emeralds, of which 640 for small and 900 for big ones. In the old tower, we could get 7 small chests and 8 large chests for free for a total of 15. Buying up all the old chests, we spend 2300 emeralds, of which 700 for the small ones and 1600 for the big ones. All in all, it looks like the older chests, despite having fewer coins, still look more desirable due to a decent amount of orange item fragments. The new chests lose resources to both donating and non-donating players. Hopefully the developers will also pay attention to this. I remember the times when you couldn't skip the tower and had to go through the battles manually. Now those times are coming back. After the tower update, you will have to go through it from the beginning every day. Thank you, there is a battle skip. But it is unclear how strong will sometimes be caught enemies. If the idea of the developers was an interesting competitions, it is the realization in the right direction, but to do the same thing every day against bots tedious. The solution here might be to make the tower walkthrough available 1 time per week of the player's choice, to make it quite difficult, and to increase all resources received by 7. That's when it definitely won't get boring and will be fun to go through for a while. In any case, the progress in our game has finally begun, and if the developers increase the number of rewards in both updated modes, then we as players will warmly welcome these updates. Thanks for watching.